You are watching Channel Adrian TV.
Yo, YouTube, what up? Welcome back to Channel Adrian TV, and y'all know me as Adrian. But before getting today's video, y'all know what y'all need to do. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment on the video. Also follow me on Rumble where I post, and also follow on the Room 1031 channel that I do with Maurice. And if you have anything you want me to react to, sports, the dynamics between men and women, or an Ask Adrian question about your own personal life, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can hit me up on one of my social media platforms. They'll be pinned in the description. And y'all, welcome back to another video. Now, from this title, this video talks about, are there peaks in relationships? And if you're not new to the channel, you know I've said this time and time again. I believe every relationship has a peak. Now, you can decide to stay for the kids, or you can decide to leave. Either way, I do believe every relationship has a peak with friends, family, and also marriage. And I have a video that talks to an older gentleman about how he felt him and his wife drifted apart and got a divorce. Now, before we watch this video, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not trying to sway people into getting a divorce, but I do think topics like this should be talked about, because one of the most important things I'm pretty sure y'all may have heard is what you're going to decide to have your future with or build a family with. So I'm going to watch the video, go over some comments, and then I'm going to discuss what we saw in this video.
Are you?
I'm 58.
Are you single?
I am. I just got a divorce, so I am single.
How long were you married to your ex-wife?
I was married almost 20 years.
So how did this 20-year marriage come to an end?
I know, right? It's amazing. I never thought I was gonna get divorced. Now I'm really happily divorced.
You seem excited that it ended.
It's not that I'm excited, just a new phase in life, you know, after so many years, you know what happens, that the passion kind of goes away. It's not the same. You have to work at it to keep the, you know, the
spark alive.
Spark alive.
Do you feel like you were trapped in the relationship?
I think that my kids became priority for us. You know, I started traveling a lot. I started focusing in my job. My ex obviously had the priority of my kids, and we just drifted apart. We're friends now, but we kind of, you know, started going different paths.
If you could go back, would you change anything about how the relationship ended?
To be honest, right now, I'm really struggling to understand if the human being is really designed to be with the same person for the rest of his life. I think that 20 years is the perfect amount of time. It just seems that to be with the same person for 40, 50 years, like my parents, for example, that were married forever, just seems so difficult these days.
So a great video, and because the reason I say great is because the fact that he's able to be open and honest with this information, because past generations, we were never privy to this type of information. And this is one of the good things I think about social media. Now, first, let's go over the video before I read comments. He was 58, said he got divorced because his wife always attended to the kids. He was always working, so they drifted apart. And that's understandable. A lot of people go through that. I personally know women who are married with kids. They're not happy in their relationship or marriage. Now, nothing abusive is going on. They're just not happy and want to be there anymore. But for the kids' sake, they decide to stay. And I know that's a tough situation because I don't have kids myself. But me personally, let's just say if I was their husband, if you're not happy, I don't want to keep you. I don't want to force you to stay. And me personally, since I've been around women my whole entire life and worked around women, I could kind of feel that energy if you're not happy. And if you're not happy, y'all know me, I definitely don't want to be in the marriage if she's not happy. That's just me. Maybe you're different. And when you start talking about drifting apart, and towards the end of the video, he talked about how he's not sure if people are meant to be with one person for the rest of their life. Now, I get what he's saying. So y'all know what I've always said. I do believe every relationship has a peak. Remember when I said that earlier in the video? I think that's what he's talking about. Now, he didn't phrase it that way, but to me, that's the issue. When a relationship peaks, like I said, you have three choices. 1, stay because of the kids. 2, try to work it out. Or 3, leave. Now, when I say peak, remember this, think of it as a roller coaster. When a roller coaster goes to the very top. Now, you only got 2 ways to go. Well, actually 3. Stay in the course. That could be staying with the kids, going up, being able to make the relationship newer, more experiences, or plummet and go down, which I know y'all have seen me say in this video before. Hopefully the divorce was a good divorce, even though it's a divorce, because from his attitude and tone, you could kind of tell he may have been hurt by the divorce or not happy, but he seems to be in good spirits. Now, before I go to the comments, the main reason I show things like this is because people think I'm the only one thinking this way. I've always felt that I was wiser beyond my years. And in certain ways, I would think the older generation will kind of push it aside, say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. On this video, you see an older gentleman who's 58, who's saying the same things I'm saying. In other words, how he worded it was different from how I worded it. He's saying he doesn't understand if people are meant to be with one person. I'm saying all relationship has a peak. And to me, they're one and the same. So let's read a few comments. One commenter said, you can tell she drained him and did him wrong, and he's just happy for a refreshing chance. I'm not going to go off on that tangent because that's not what he said. And one commenter said, wait till he finds out how different things are from 20 years ago. And she's correct. That's something I wanted to touch on. He said in the video of how things are different now, especially with social media and options and women being able to make their own money. The dating scene is very different because this man is 58. I don't know how old his children are. I wish he would have said that, because that would give me more of a gauge to see when him and his wife got married. But now in 2025, dating is, I can assure you, dating is completely different from his time when he first met his wife. One commenter said, poor guy, he sounds genuinely sad that it ended, but relieved he could move on. Now, I don't know if he sounded sad, but you could tell from how he was talking about it, he was at least comfortable, because if it still hurts him or was in a lot of emotional pain, I could see him maybe not wanting to answering this question. One commenter said, I can tell 100% this guy cheated. Human being isn't designated to be with one person. While traveling a lot and my ex was focused on the kids. Now, I can't go off that, just like I can't go off the first comment. I can only go by what he said. But that mindset is what people always constantly give me pushback on. I think what he's saying, that if people are meant to be with one person for their entire life, I'm wording it as all relationship has a peak. And if I ask that woman, because I think, yeah, now I don't know from the Avi if she's a woman or not, but if she is a woman, I would ask her, do all relationships have a peak? Most women that I spoke to and dated, even old heads that I know, said, Adrian, you're right, all relationships have a peak. I think it's more about that than are one people designed to be with one person for the rest of their life. And one commenter said they got divorced way back when he prioritized his job instead of his marriage and family. Till then, he was just hanging on. I kind of agree with that comment, because if you remember when I said how people stay in for kids, remember, I personally know people who are in marriages right now because of the kids, but don't want to be there. And it's a tough situation, and it's a tough subject to even talk about, because you never know how it's going to affect your kids. But that's a video. And remember, when I do these videos, it's kind of like it's for educational purposes. Now, if you want to get married, that's fine. If you don't want to get married, that's also fine. But these are talks I think you, your partner, your family, friends should have, because like I've said, if I had a son, daughter, wife, mother of my child, whatever the relationship is, I will want to play these videos and have talks so they can get an understanding of not only to what they might encounter in this world, but more importantly, being ready and able to tackle these tough subjects. Because I've met women's parents and try to have these talks, and you could tell they didn't want to talk about it because these own problems were going on in their own relationship. And then from that point, y'all know how I don't believe in building a family off a lie, and these type of things you should be able to talk about. And if my personal opinion, if you're going to build a family off a lie, or you can't talk about these things, you're a family I don't want to be a part of, because you may be too soft to actually express and talk about these tough topics. Because we all know they are tough. We all know people go through things, but at the end of the day, you have to talk about these things to iron out any issues, so you know exactly what you're getting into. But that's the video for today. And also be on the lookout for my first sneaker review video about the Air Jordan 12s. I've just been so busy, but I'm definitely going to drop that tomorrow. Y'all remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And whatever you do, be safe out there. Y'all remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And regardless if you're going to get married or not going to get married, this is just something to think about.